Welcome in all Wyoming Cowboy athletes here. We are back for episode. Is this 4 or 5, Coach King? I'm not sure at
I think
this
there's
point.
four.
Yeah,
Four,
four successful episodes, hopefully. And we've got some special guests with us today. 2 senior athletes heading into their senior year. They're getting ready for their fall seasons. It is Coach Oldham. I've got Coach King with me here. I've got Coach Mauser. I'm going to kick it off. Coach King, kind of tell me how you've been doing since the last time we talked.
I'm doing really well, Coach. It's good to see everybody. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, Natalie, for joining. And just really excited about this. I'm looking at myself here on the screen. I didn't realize how big my beard's been growing during this quarantine. But I think I'm going to keep it going until we're able to get back on the field. So you guys might see a whole different Coach King when he comes back out here. Maybe shaving into a Fu Manchu or something like that when we get back out there. But everything's good and healthy. Working out at home. Like I said last time to Coach Mauser and Coach Oldham, I actually started doing some sprints in my driveway, and my legs are feeling it. I tell you what, but a ton of fun. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's good.
Yeah, I rocked the playoff mustache the year that we won the state championship, so I know how that can go. Coach Mauser, how we doing? Anything changed? What's new on your home front?
I'm doing good. I was just saying, King, actually, the first thing I noticed was that beard. It's coming in pretty full. Makes me
Thanks,
regret
buddy.
But no, everything's been doing good here. I'm still not doing sprints. I didn't got the railroad ties again today and was using them for some deadlifts, some rows, basically simulating a T-bar row, which was nice. A little angled shoulder press action that I took an axe freeze dump. And not the best way to get rid of one, but worked the core pretty good.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, let's turn it over to these Wyoming athletes. I'm going to start with Natalie Strom, senior year, 2-sport athlete. Unless I'm missing one, do you do something in the spring?
Just 2 now.
Just 2-sport athlete here, getting ready for the upcoming volleyball season. How are you doing? What's going on with you at home right now?
I'm doing pretty good. It's definitely weird to get used to like working out completely on my own because like I'm so used to working out like with a team or like with you guys. So I've just been trying to like mix it up because I get really bored doing the same things. And I've actually been like running with my dad, and he's pretty like he's like faster than me. So I'm trying to keep up with him, and we're trying to do like longer stuff. And then I've been doing like volleyball workouts that our coach had sent us. Just trying to work like different parts. Like I really can't do the same thing every day. So I try to mix it up every day.
I gotcha. At least you're doing something.
Yeah.
Brennan, captain of the football team, right? You've got some football offers that have been rolling in. We see them on Twitter. Kind of tell us what's going on with you at home. How are things going with you?
Not much. I mean, it's pretty boring, and I guess I miss going to school, which is kind of weird to say. But basically, I've been doing the workouts that Coach Hancock has been sending out, and he does a really good job keeping everything organized. And then also, when I can, I go out and throw a football. Especially with baseball getting canceled, I can kind of focus more on getting ready to play quarterback this upcoming fall. So, like, me and a couple of the guys will go to the rec field and run routes and stuff.
Staying 6 feet apart, though, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Along with that, you mentioned that Coach Hancock does a great job of keeping things organized. Kind of fill us in on the new technology that he's kind of put in place for football, and what's that been like?
He gave us this app to download called Rack Performance, and then he just uploads a workout each day. So like Monday there's strength and plyometrics, and then it's like strength every day, and then it'll involve different types of agilities and sprints, and then like it times it for you, which is really nice, and you can just press play and it goes straight down the workout, and it makes things a lot easier because it's just accessible on your phone.
I got you. And then I think you won first place last week. Is that correct? Did I see that tweet?
Top on the leaderboard.
That's a different app. That's just like doing different leadership activities. That's okay. It's not really working out.
I got you.
Not a workout app.
I hear you. Hey, I know Coach King, Coach Mauser, they've got some questions for both of you. They want to kind of hear, what you're doing nutrition-wise, what are you doing to rest, what kind of lifting you're doing, as well as kind of what do you want your overall message to be as you guys are heading into your senior years of, the fall sports. So I'm going to turn it over to Coach Mauser. Go ahead and ask him the questions.
So I think my question kind of nails the majority of it in one thing. Well, I'll guide you through as you guys answer. My thing is where do you want to be the second we get back into things? Like, where do you feel like you should be as an athlete? And do you have any ideas of what you're doing to get there? Have you had any plans, diet, nutrition? Kind of open it up and then see if we can help guide you a little bit and reflect on it.
Well, I guess we have so much time right now to get better, but also for some people, I would understand how it'd be hard to motivate during this time. Like maybe their seasons get like our baseball season got canceled, but like you can't just sit around and mope. You got to get right back into it because now it's football season. And I guess the key for me is I need to wake up right away and then just start working on something. Because if I like sit around and be lazy from the start, then I just won't get anything done.
For me, well, for volleyball, like we don't really know when we're going to be able to get back in the gym, which I'm sure is the same for football. Like we don't know exactly like when everything's going to start. So I think it is really important that we're all like super in shape right when that happens, because we're not going to have as much time to like get into it. For volleyball, always like vertical is a big thing that like I think is important, especially I'm a hitter, so like blocking and hitting and stuff. On our workout, Coach Jim has put like some stuff for that, and I know on the new workout that you guys have put out, there's like some jumping stuff I've been doing on the stairs. I've been trying to do that for like dieting and stuff, or like diet. Like it is hard not to just like snack all day because there's nothing to do, and I feel like when you're bored you just eat. So like that's something I've been really trying to do, but I guess that's another thing. Like I need to be like stricter about that, but it is hard. Like it's hard to have motivation all the time.
Natalie, that's a really good point about the snacking. And actually, Coach Oldham, you remember we talked about this, and Coach Mauser, we talked about it. And Brendan also tying into, you said wake up right away and get to doing something. Keeping a nice routine so that when we're ready to get back into competition, it's not going to be a shock to your system about waking up early, trying to get to bed earlier. And then Natalie, with the snacks, you're at home now, so you have access to all this in the pantry and everything, whereas when you're at school, you don't have that with you. What I've kind of found, same with me. Look, I love to snack too, but if you have pre-planned meals or pre-set out things like you would when you go to school, can really help out, keep that routine, keep you on track when you're eating healthy, and making sure you're meeting, those nutritional goals that you want. So when we get into competitive season, you're right where you want to be.
Agree with that 100%. Kristen and I laid out our whole, we sat down yesterday and laid out every meal we're going to eat. I'm actually going to lift for the first time in about a month due to my injury. And I'm going to have spaghetti on Thursday because I always chose pasta on my biggest lift days. Like my cheat days were on my biggest lift days. So getting into that nutrition. Coach King, I know you had some questions that you wanted to shoot out to him. Go ahead, shoot away. Ask Natalie.
Yeah. Natalie, starting with you, what I'd love to know, and both of you guys are leaders, work really hard with your teammates. What success stories have you heard from some of your teammates? You don't have to call anybody out, but just what some of your teammates are doing and how you guys are, motivating each other, staying in touch, and to keep that cohesion going.
So for basketball, a lot of it has been on the basketball side, just because, well, we have a new head coach, and it was announced that we would have a new coach over this whole break. So that was kind of really crazy. We've been doing a lot of Zoom calls. So we did some with Coach O at first, and then like everyone got on, and I think that just kind of got everyone excited to like do it some more. So we were doing them like every week, and tonight, that's where I'm about to go. We're doing like a social distancing, like team bonding bonfire, and we have talked to like the 8th graders, me and Meredith, who's the other senior, who are going to be like, I guess, the leaders of the basketball team. We like did a Zoom with just the 8th graders, just to make sure like they were comfortable with like us before we put them on with everyone. And then we invited them, and it's at the Rose Andrews house, and there's Vanessa's going to be a junior and Brooke's going to be an incoming freshman. So we think it'll be like really good for everyone to get to know each other.
Very cool.
On the workout part, everyone, it's not like football where we're all like I know lifting is a really big part of like football. For like basketball, I think everyone's just doing stuff individually, but for the most part, from what I've heard, everyone's getting out either running or doing like apps on their like women workout apps. I know I'm doing a lot of the stuff from the training, but I think mostly running, like cardio stuff is more what we're doing.
I guess for us, we have a lot of trust in our guys, like to get all our work in. Like we don't have to ride on everyone to make sure that they're working out and everything. Like we all hold ourselves accountable to work out. And then of course, like I said, we go out and throw like maybe once a week. So like we know we're getting in work there. It's a little bit of cardio too. So yeah, I mean, it's just right now, especially because we can't always be with each other, you just have to trust that your teammates are putting in more work than you are. And sometimes that helps me motivate to work even harder.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more with both of you. So basketball, I think, is off to an amazing start with a new head coach that's coming in who's bringing a lot of positivity. So that group is becoming super tight knit, which I love more than anything. And then I think we had one of the best winter springs, I guess is what you'd call it, Coach King, when we were talking about how the football guys were really bonding together and coming and really believing that, like, as a team, we could go pretty far. I know that we talked about, Brennan, Coach and I firmly believe that we would go to war with you as our quarterback of the future. We have no doubts about your competitiveness for sure. Coach Mauser, do you want to touch on any of that? Kind of give anything that you would do or help out with?
Well, just a few other things that they were saying. I know like they're struggling with the snacking, stuff like that. The easy, simple thing to do for the snacking would be 10 burpees every time you want to go eat something. It'll discourage you from snacking really fast because nobody wants to do burpees. Plus, it's good training. Then, but I also say that, like, you need to be thinking, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? I always start out with, where do I want to be at the start of next month? A lot of people are like, hey, we're starting hard tomorrow. And that's kind of like their plan is we got a next workout. My plan is, well, where do I want to be in 30 days? And then I look at the last year and I'm like, here's where I could have been even further today and have less to do. And then I start going off of that and how to change behaviors over the next 30 days or so. And then I build from there. So that's kind of where my mindset is right now during all of this. It's perfect time for reflection. So I kind of attack the mentality part of it. I need to be waking up more on time, wake up, jump to the floor, knock out 25 push-ups really quick. You got to do something, then make your bed. Nobody wants to make their bed. So it starts discipline building, get you going from there. 25 push-ups better than a pre-workout, in my opinion. Wakes you up first thing in the morning better than coffee.
That's definitely true. I wanted to kind of hit on a couple of things. Nat, you had talked about some of the volleyball stuff, and I know Coach Jim, Coach DeLong is always telling me and some of the other strength coaches, false steps. And that just means you guys are, a foot back instead of going forward or your foot. Are you working on some of those things right now?
No, which I probably should, because I definitely do that, like in my approach, which basically is just like when you're doing your approach, you take a step back instead of all your momentum forward, which I've totally done. But I've just been following his workouts like on one day, like I do it on like Tuesdays, and it's like we practice our approach and our blocking approaches, so our hitting and blocking approaches, not really as much the like specific like false step, which I probably should, but I've just been following it, so I haven't done that now.
Now, my other question is going to be more geared towards Brennan, and it's going to be, baseball is obviously canceled. We have no idea what summer baseball looks like, and I know that's huge time for you. As you start to transition into throwing a football, how are you resting your arm, your elbow? Your mechanics change quite drastically, the way you hold the ball and things like that. Kind of what's your throwing regimen and things like that?
Well, we don't. So resting wise, I only throw like twice a week. I throw a football like once a week, and I'll long toss maybe once or twice a week. So I'm getting plenty of rest for my arm. But I guess like it's kind of hard because I wish Jordan could be there to like help me throw, but it's kind of just like a feel thing. Like if I throw it. I don't know if it feels good and it like goes where I want it to go, then I just keep doing that. And then yeah, it's all about. Yeah, that's basically it.
I get it completely. Now, are you using technology to, videotape yourself and send it to Coach Jordan?
No, I haven't done that yet, but that's a good idea.
Hey, I'm here to help. Coach King, I know you had a couple more questions that you wanted to kind of ask both the athletes.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on really most of them, and I guess kind of the last one is if you guys could kind of go through maybe some things around the house that you found that you've worked out with, or maybe anything unconventional. I know, Natalie, that you're running with your dad and you haven't really been running much, but anything that you can kind of send to your other athletes and your teammates that maybe they're not doing, things that they can use around the house and get the workouts in.
Well, so I only have like lighter dumbbells in my house, and I couldn't do shrugs. So I just got two like ball buckets, and I just threw a bunch of dumbbells in both of them and shrugged. That's what I did. And then I have like containers. I don't have a bench either, so I do like floor bench, and it's hard to get like a rack for that, like a place to set the weight. So I just like place some containers on top of each other to put the like little bench on.
Nice work.
For
Yeah.
me, my brother, I have an older brother, he's in college, and he's like pretty tall. He's like 6'5". So like he built like this, like we did this like at-home gym thing in our basement, and he has like a ton of weights. Like, so his are, I don't lift that much, like obviously what he has. So we just kind of like mix them up because they're the type where you like screw them on. But he like made this, we're using like this chest thing as like benching, but I haven't been benching because I've been like, it's hard for me to get super motivated to like lift a ton. I think like a big thing that I've realized, which I didn't realize before, is like motivation from other people and like your teammates is like a big part of that. Like, it's hard to just be completely self-motivated. So it's good when he is lifting, but I think it's easier for me to do stuff that's not as much like heavy weights, which I guess I should be doing, but.
Well, it sounds like you guys are both getting in great work. And that's one of the reasons why I asked that question, is because your peers look up to you. And I mean, great example, Brendan, by using buckets. You know, there's things that all of us have in our houses where we don't have access to these big weight machines and everything, and different weights, dumbbells. We want to hear from you guys on what you're using and being successful, and relay that message. And hopefully that will motivate your teammates as well, to get some really good work in. So nice work, both of you.
Thank you.
I want to transition to Coach Mauser over here real quick. I saw your head nod and kind of a smirk when they were saying some certain things. Going back to what Brennan has, kind of the buckets and the lighter dumbbells. You know, what are some tips as far as putting on maybe a little bit of size, because I know that's a little bit more of your area of expertise. What are some tips you'd give Brennan on that?
So I was immediately thinking of just high explosive floor benches. It's a great thing to do. I usually do it more as a finisher. I lay down on the ground and I throw as much possible weight as I can that I can just throw up. And I lay under the bar because the weights lift the bar up enough of my chest that it won't crush me, right? And I talked last time I was on here about how the negative motion is what tears the muscle. And so there's two ways that you can build up muscles. One is getting a good pump, and that floods oxygen, nutrients, everything into the muscle that you can. And the pump is generally developed from the pushing motion. Then you have the tear, which is the negative motion. So it's like a bit of an ego thing. It lets you lift really heavy, but just lay down on that ground and you grab that bench and you throw it up with everything you've got and let it fall back down. Don't do the negative. And you get such a ridiculous pump and such an explosive motion from it that it is great for athletes, especially people who are going to work more on the line for football, honestly, but not so much for throwers. I think you should stay away from doing too much, but going lighter and getting a quick motion out of it, not damaging your joints, practicing proper form, of course, it could be pretty beneficial, but that's where my head went when he mentioned that. And it's buckets, man. I mean, you can curl with buckets, you can do squats with buckets. Like I said, isolate everything. So holding them off to the side, curtsy lunges, step up lunges, side step up lunges, like everything you can possibly do. Hit every angle of the leg. Don't worry about the big compounds anymore. Hit the side angles, everything that we don't normally like doing in the gym because it looks ridiculous and it's painful. Now's the time.
Yeah, and as far as Natalie goes, she's, struggling a little bit with the motivation and aspect and things like that. I think, a lot of times I see this with a lot of female athletes. I see it with Kristen. Kristen tells me I have to go downstairs when she does her Beachbody workout in the living room, right? So, you're not, Natalie, you're not the only one that doesn't want to be watched or is a little bit, timid when it comes to working out. What are some, tips if she only wanted to grab a 10-pound plate? You talked about it, how you would just hold it out and then let it, the resistance aspect. What are some tips you'd give Natalie?
Well, we'll start on the motivation aspect. A big thing that helps me with motivation is like I was talking about how 30 days from now I want to be somewhere. Well, I also set up 30 small goals in between now and then. That way you have an actual plan. And you're like, I'm going to get a reward more regularly, and getting that small reward of achieving something every so many days, as opposed to like, well, in 3 months, I need to be here for volleyball. It really helps to motivate you. It's a constant feedback. As far as like, you want to just grab that 10-pound weight, I would go through every single muscle that has to do with jumping. That's going to be the most helpful thing for volleyball and basketball. And I mean, pretty much every female athlete and male athlete that I've dealt with, your guys' hip flexors are horrible. You need a lot of work on them. And that's usually where I start my focus. So get down and do your 10 pounds, just hold it straight up while doing flutter kicks. Get that good stretch to your abs, work that core, but you're draining out your chest as you're doing it. And then slowly bring that 10-pound back to here, hold it 10 seconds, 2 inches off the ground, lengthening that core, stretching the shoulders and the chest, getting even more oxygen starved out. Keep going, burn the abs up as fast and as hard as you can, flip back over, knock out as many push-ups as you can. When you do consistent movement like that, just moving from spot to spot to spot, you don't get bored, which I heard you like to change things up a lot. And you save time. I mean, in 10 minutes, you're going to be dead training like that. And it's going to feel really good that you pushed that hard and made it through it. And that's how you can use light weights to really get a good overall athletic body type and build, while helping work the motions that you need for your sport without actually having to get up, jump, and hit a ball repeatedly.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to the athletes real quick, give them a little, what they want to say to their teammates. I'm going to start with Nat again. What is the message you want to get out to, one, your seniors, your peers, as we approach the volleyball season, and two, what is the overall message you want to get out to the rest of the team?
I guess just have the mentality that we could be back into everything tomorrow. We don't know when it's going to be, so we might as well get ready like it is tomorrow. And what's better than to start right now and just work hard and take this time to rest. And obviously junior year is really hard, but also get better, eat better, work out, and just what Brennan was saying, if think about Indian Hill or other teams that could be working harder than you, and just work hard, get the work in, I guess now is what I would say. But.
Perfect. Brennan, what do you got to say to the football team as we head into this unknown time, but it looks like we're trending in a direction we're going to play?
Mm-hmm. Just don't take this time for granted, because as it can be taken so quickly, for all these spring athletes. And also as Coach Oldham said, we're probably going to be back soon, so we got to be in full stride right when we get back. And this team, it's our team too. It's not the coaches, it's not the strength coaches, it's our team, and we have complete control over it. And if we want to be the best we can be, we got to put in the work now, even though it's hard.
Couldn't agree more. Coach King, any last words there?
Well, first, thank you both for coming on. Thank you both for all the work you put in and being leaders. And like both of you said, keep working. You never know who's working harder than you, and always think that someone is, so that you work harder. I was watching the Last Dance documentary on MJ last night, and if you haven't been able to catch that, it's been fantastic. And he mentioned how going into the season where they were just getting beat up by the Pistons, they needed to start weight training, and they put a big emphasis on off-season weight training. We're in a big, long off-season right now. And take advantage of it. Don't waste your time. Hit your time under tension work. Maybe make some reps myotatic, eccentric work, concentric work, all that. Slow it down. Make it tougher on yourself. Balance, unilateral work. If you need anything, that's why us three coaches are here. But both of you, keep up the great work. Great to see you, and we miss you.
Miss you too.
Coach Mauser?
I think Coach King said it perfect. I always had a saying, though, about off season. I said there's no such thing as off season. You just have a season where you decide how the competition's going to go. So right now is how you're going to determine the way the season's going to be. And it's time to really put in the work, get that effort in, and show what you are actually capable of, and get where you need to be for that final day of playing. And like King said, thank you guys so much for coming up, stepping up, and being willing to do this with us for the rest of your athletes.
Final thoughts are we miss you guys so much. We are bored to death here. We can't wait to get back with you. And I think the last thing I want to finish it up with is, thanks to all the frontline workers out there right now. Their help and their work and determination is definitely putting us in a better spot so that we can get back to doing the things that we love. Until next time, thank you both for coming on. We will be recording an episode on Wednesday with the Waynesville football program. But until then, see you guys.
See you guys.